roughly $500,000, which is to be split between EP and ourselves, to do the ditch. And the result of it is, the result of the meeting was, they will listen to another plea from us with a new permit and more environmental issues to be resolved. Then they will formally advertise the issue and give 60 days for comments. Then they'll take the comments and decide whether or not they wish to follow what rules or not. Now, that's going to take up until Christmas, minimum. The environmentalist who says that he works and has worked these issues before, he said we'd be lucky in a year, year and a half of getting the money to be able to do that. And further, he says by the tenor of the conversations that he's had with them, that they are wanting to really slap our hands and not do anything.
Well,
And they can make you take it all up,
You're talking about the ditch, the concrete ditch.
the ditch.
Down here, that's what they're,
That's correct.
and so then it's all broken up and everything.
Now, one thing for FEMA, we have 30 months from the date of our first permit to use those funds. Whether or not we can get, it already looks like we're gonna exceed that number. Whether or not we can get anything done within that 30 months is up in the air. Because it's all dependent upon the Corps of Engineers and the speed at which they wish to operate and what kind of decision they come up with. So, we're on a limb. Corps of Engineers has us all. Okay?
As far as environmental impact, as Richard can attest to, I have a number of sinkholes that they're more than welcome to come out and examine.
Well, that really doesn't concern them. What they want to do is go back to 1968, before anything was ever done, and consider it at that point when your house wasn't even built.
Right?
That's the problem.
And there was a stream.
Now, there were no laws in 1968. First law that they can cite is 1972. Our ditch was lined sometime in 1980. Nobody seems to know an exact date, but we're pretty well pinned down to sometime after 1980.
Prior to that, it was a stream bed.
Prior to that, there were bits and pieces of concrete in the ditch. Some were laid in 1968, namely around the bridge abutment on Stone Mountain, no, not Stone Mountain, Stonewall Jackson.
Uh-huh.
And up at the top, they altered the course of the original ditch. That's another problem in their crawl. All of this was done apparently without any permits from the Corps of Engineers. But in 1960, 64, 65, up to 72, they didn't require one.
Right.
But just like any or most government agencies, pardon my opinion, they want to go back to day one and charge you with what the law is today. That's my opinion. Answer? Did I answer it?
It's gonna revert back to a stream bed.
That's the worst case scenario. On top of that, you gotta take it all out, which will do more harm than anything, but you can't convince a bureaucrat of that. Anyway, next, are you through?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Can I make a clarification? When I said golf course, I meant Charleston. I did not mean the golf course. The entire
Ginger
golf course.
siphoning.
I
didn't follow him. I'm not talking.
Mark Denham?
I indicated that I wasn't gonna speak, but since y'all have asked, I'm here just to show support of my concern of Charleston. I live on it. And so if y'all are doing anything or considering anything that might help the improvement that would not create an additional flood problem, then I'm supportive. So that's why I'm here.
Is that it?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Robert McComb?
Not at this time.
Denise Waller?
Yeah, I'm the same opinion as Mark. I live on Charleston too, and anything that would help improve it other than a golf course. There has been mention of it turning into a park-like area where it is simply mowed and people could walk and bike. And I think that sounds like a real good option other than a golf course.
Gerard Smith?
Yeah, I live on Telegraph, close to Mark and Denise, not on the golf course though. No real comment, just I guess really a question. I'm here to hear, any information that you guys have about acquisition of properties and anything that again would affect the golf course, including adding additional homes onto the golf course, supplying services to them.
At this time, we don't have any answers.
Okay, is that something you'll discuss in executive today?
Most likely.
Okay. You'll give us a readout afterwards, huh? And will there be a comment period or homeowners?
Nothing will be commented on afterward by the public. Comments have been moved to this time, not past, not
So-
after.
So the board
There will
won't
be
give
no
a
further
summary or
comments
anything?
after this session. Okay?
So there will be a summary after this session?
No, sir.
There will not?
I said there'll be no further comments after this comment session.
Okay.
Ryan Kirsch?
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the golf course, the Charleston, and whatever we can do to support it as far as no homes going on it and not having more issues with flooding in this community.
Michael Doherty?
Michelle. I have
Oh, Michelle, excuse me.
I have no comment.
Liz Day?
No comment.
Tom or Linda Vandiver?
No comment this time.
I guess I don't either.
Tom, you were able to keep your wife quiet that long? All right. I'm trying to read it. Luke? I can't read it. Help me.
Luke Chapman?
No comment.
Kurt Zimmerman?
I'm just curious, what acquisition of real estate is being considered?
Good question.
Is there I'm just looking at the minutes here.
Oh, we can adjourn for not only that, but for legal matters also.
No, I was just curious.
You know
is
we
there-
have suits pending.
Yeah, I don't have all the details. I was curious about the acquisition of land though.
Well, that will be a matter taken up into the executive session. Nicole Zimmerman?
Hi. I have a couple of questions, mostly on the back of this water report. It says that we lost 17.67 gallons percent of water due to leakage and broken water lines. And I am just wondering, is that normal? Is that average, or, have we found the cause of this?
It's not average as to a normal everyday operation. It is abnormal because we had a line break.
So
Anytime you have a line break, you have excessive losses because it's not going through anybody's meter except the meters at the wells. So we know how much is being produced, and then we know how much we're selling, and there becomes a big wide difference. So we got to start looking for losses. It's just like this afternoon. Woman, they're up to over 80,000 gallons this month. A household.
Wow.
What in the world has happened?
Yeah.
We caught it when we read the meters yesterday and today.
So it's been repaired? and-
Well, no, that's just a matter of, that went through the meter, by the way. That went through her meter. or their meter, whoever it is, I don't even know who it was. I'm just aware of the situation. But there's over 80,000 gallons and it's still pouring. So it has to be a leak between our meter and into the house. Now, that's not lost. We know where that is. What's lost is when we have to, by mandate and by law, have to flush all of the fire hydrants on a periodic basis. Because we do have sand and sediments that flow into our system from the wells. As best we can filter them, they still get in there. Rust from the lines, and no telling what else, roots that get in there and get separated. Anyway, we have to flush those items every month. We don't have to flush every one every month, but we have to flush on a periodic schedule. So all we can do is estimate. We don't put a meter on them generally. All they do is go out there and open them up for 15, 20 minutes and let them flow down the street. Okay, that was 100,000 gallons. So you got to see where it comes from. Last month's report, we were less than 2% loss. Okay? So you see, we run the wide range gamut. It's a very wide range. We have a line break. It goes to wherever it goes.
Did we have a big leak that made it 17%?
Apparently so.
We fixed
Almost
it.
21 million gallons.
And we got it fixed?
6-inch line.
Okay.
About how long was it open?
Well, we don't know until we found it.
Yeah, that's right. You found it by what, you were digging for something else, as I recall, or the plumber was digging for something else. And we didn't even know it because it was coming out at a far different place than where it was entering from our line. So there was really no evidence of it right at that point. Anyway, does that explain it?
It does. My only other question, I'm just wondering, curious as to why the minutes aren't for public view.
The executive committee minutes are not necessarily, they are executive committee minutes. That's what we were in, and they are not for public view.
But the general meeting minutes are...
General meeting was May 23rd, everything was fine. That was a special call meeting, and we went immediately into executive session. Those are not required by law. Okay?
Okay.
Because they may contain matters which should remain confidential. Although apparently they don't very well. Anyway, next on the list, London Wild.
No comment.
Pardon?
No comment.
Okay. Dave Starr,
No comment.
Melanie Kurtzinger?
No comment.
Hope not. I'm not even gonna recognize her. Stephen,
Dressel.
okay?
Yes, sir, I just wanted to echo the sentiment from Mark. I agree with him completely. Any efforts that can be made to help out with the situation with the land that was Charleston, I think would be greatly supported. And a point the gentleman made, the public comment section was moved to the front. We understand that there's no public comments afterwards. But was I right in hearing that there will be no summary of executive session given?
No. You will see on the deal that there is we are to take up, probably if the board so desires, we are to make motions after we come out of executive session, if we so desire. Those are the next two items after coming out from executive session.
Great. I was just a little confused after the conversation.
No.
Thank you.
If we take action, it will be in front of this venue.
Thank you. That's all.
Okay? Any other questions?
Will we be called back for this summary or not?
Pardon?
Will we be called back for this summary?
If you want to,
Well, how will we know when you're out?
when we finish.
Do you have a wide
May I give you an
Well,
idea? May I give you an idea?
We'll probably go on another one.
There were 3 of us at the last meeting on this very same, most likely subject.
Mhm.
We were here an hour and 45 minutes.
Okay,
I'll wait.
Oh, wait.
I'll wait.
Now, we have a lawyer who's not gonna be here that long. He's gonna leave at 5 o'clock, so I'm sure we're gonna try to wrap it up before 5 o'clock. I can't tell you whether we'll be there 15 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I know I said I didn't.
Your turn,
I
Pam.
wasn't gonna say anything, but I live on Charleston,
Okay?
and, you know, just anything that would, no homes, you know, I'd rather not see any homes, but maybe, like they said, a walking trail, or thing for the kids to ride their bikes, or a bench or something.
How do you know this is concerning Charleston?
Well, I live on Charleston, I don't know, they're talking about homes being built, where were they gonna be built on Charleston?
We're not in the home building business.
I know you're not, I know you're not, but I mean, if there's anything, you know, y'all can do, help us.
Well, we have to consider not only the constituents inside River Plantation, but we have to consider constituents inside Mosswood. Mosswood pays the same tax rate as we do, as everybody in River Plantation does, except for an enclave called Fairway Village. So there's 76 homes there, and there are roughly 75 to 90 connections in Mosswood. I assume they're all homes. And so that means total, there's 170 plus people that pay taxes into our MUD district that don't belong to the CIA and have nothing to do with Charleston. You understand? That's the quandary we have. We're taking tax money and or other monies that physically came from, that's our problem. That's what we're discussing. And if we do take any action, is how we take action. That's the other matter. First of all, we gotta decide, do we take action? Then we have to decide what kind of action it is, and then how do we do it? And that'll all be done in executive session. Anything else? That's,
Just a small comment about Mosswood. As a public, or as a government entity, the property wouldn't be part of the CIA. It would be open to anyone who utilizes, or that is serviced by you,
No, it has
so.
nothing to do with the CIA.
That's what I'm saying. He mentioned the CIA's, like, it belonged to Mosswood
I
and
didn't
to
mention
the
the
horse.
CIA.
You said the CIA instead
You-
of MUD.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, but then I apologize, I took your misspeaking, and say it would be
No.
for the community as a whole, not for a specific development within our entire community.
well, that's another matter we'll take into executive session. Anything else anybody needs to bring up that might be of value? Fine. We will now adjourn into executive session. All right. May the meeting come back to order? You got it turned on? Okay. Let me find the agenda. Somebody have one out and about so I can get a hand on it right quick. Thank you.
You're welcome. We don't.
I got too much paper. All right. Executive session was held, and does the board have any issues they'd like to bring forth at this time?
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
I move that we authorize our legal and environmental engineering consultants that that they move necessarily to begin development of the plans for the use of the Charleston property as a public park for drainage and flood control purposes and other public uses.
I'll second the motion.
That's the form of a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Four? Four ayes?
Five. Oh,
Four ayes.
4 ayes.
President abstains. Number 4, consider acquisition of real estate? No?
Well, I've got
That's-
another
he's got
motion.
another-
Oh, you
I've
got another motion?
I do. I'd like to further move forward that Julie and Jack be authorized to work with the consultants on behalf of the board.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved, 4-0. All right,
Mr. President, I'll excuse myself and get off the clock.
thank you.
Cha-ching. Hey, that's right. Thank you. Have a great night.
Full hours.
Yeah, he made it to the hour.
All right, we've dispensed with the comments from the public. We're on to the regular business called to review the bookkeeper's report.
Are facilities usually that much?
22,000 in the hole this month? Cash wise? What it looks like.
Our utilities are usually $6,700.
Pardon?
Our utilities are $6,700 a month.
Oh, yeah.
In summertime.
We'll go higher in summer.
After seeing those legal fees, I'm glad you got off the clock.
That's right.
I'm good.
Richard, what's the green utility services, maintenance and repair?
That's-
Was that the John Deere?
No. That was, they did a sewer line repair for me.
Okay.
They were a contractor, utility contractor.
I think we're gonna make our budgeted amounts on revenue this year.
Well, they like to put out paper, don't they?
Well, but it says we only have, what was the paper, we only had so much more to collect.
Rich,
And it's not gonna give us the-
it shows that we still have $51,000 of taxes to be collected.
Yes, sir.
Yep. But that's not
Running
gonna
way
get us
slow. That number's normally in the $10,000 to $15,000 range, isn't it? Has been in the past.
And that's through the end of May.
It's still,
And this is a May report as of May 1st. It's probably worse now. The longer it gets. All right. Anybody have any questions about the bookkeeper's report, other than what you've already asked?
No.
Operation report? By the way, everybody realizes this is the first month that the new billing water rates will go out
June, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
with this billing cycle.
Yes.
I notice we have more of the over 50,000 gallons than we've had.
Well, it's,
I know, it's hot,
it's getting
but we've had a
warmer.
lot, we've had rain.
That number will go up.
You got 28 over 30,000 gallons. But you've got about 290.
We've got a lot that have fallen down.
You got roughly half of them though that are below 5, which will see no increase.
You know what? I've cut back a lot. I no longer have women living in my house. And it's a third of what it was. I'm serious. I'm serious. 3 women, they've all left me and the water bill's next to none. Now, I've been out of town a lot.
That helps.
I see nothing out of the ordinary except the 17% loss. You said you repaired that, or think you have, unless you find another one?
11%.
Pardon?
11%.
11%.
Yeah,
Excuse me,
11.7 something.
11.97.
Yeah.
You got that one.
Well, when you take into account all meters are within plus or minus 2%,
Yeah.
and that's if they're working properly. By the way, while we're on the operational report and all, I have mentioned to Richard, there is a pilot program available at a nominal charge, not excessive, to go to electronic metering. Actually, it's sonic. And I have suggested to him that he investigate where we could utilize. Actually, the pilot program allows you to have 10 meters. They are all 3/4 inch meters, so they would all be home meters. There wouldn't be any kind of high volume meters. We'd have to have larger meters if that. But I asked him to investigate that and report back when he can as to what he found and the cost and all. And my objective is to see on how
usage.
our measurement compares with what we're doing now. Now, we haven't replaced meters in probably 10 years.
We replaced them in 2006.
All right, 13 years. And they are rotary type meters. And a grain of sand can affect the doggone body. They etch the body or cut out the blades. And as a result, instead of having an accuracy of plus or minus 2%, we'd be lucky to have 5, 10%. Anyway, I just wanted to make you aware of what I had done.
Okay.
The GRP report is nothing.
I included in your packets this time the annual GRP report, which shows what our annual production is for the group as a GRP.
Yeah.
RPMUD and EPUD and the golf course.
The golf courses haven't been using their well?
No. I control the well now. I won't turn it on unless we absolutely have to.
Well, yeah, but I see it was on in March, April, and May.
No, that's the,
Was that like a test, a water line test or something?
which one are you looking at? Oh, yeah, but it's only 100 gallons.
Yeah.
I run it every so often because you have to cycle it.
Okay.
But that's all. They used to run, 4 or 5 million through there,
Yeah, I know.
so. They've been getting all of the water from the wastewater treatment plant, so there's no need to run the well.
Well, they haven't been watering all that much anyway because we've had
No.
more than enough rain.
Yeah.
You have to also remember, they're not watering 27 holes anymore, they're only watering 18.
Ah. I found it. Finally came across. All right, any discussion on bookkeepers or administrative reports?
No. No, sir.
All right, next item. We have got to review our investment policy. And do you have something in here that addresses that? Richard?
Yes, it's right here. Here's the copy of it. It's the annual investment report. I sent a copy to Julie for.
Does
to
it
review
change anything? Did it change?
No, it hasn't changed at all.
Do you recommend it as the treasury officer?
Yes.
You make a motion, we accept it?
I'll make the motion, we accept the investment report as is.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved unanimously? Unanimously?
All of us.
That means all of us. Does anybody have any old business or pending business to bring up? Entertain a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Oh,
the
wait,
meeting.
got to do
Wait, we
checks.
got the,
We gotta do checks.
Yeah.
Do checks.
We just
we
gotta
adjourned
sign checks.
the, open session while we sign checks. How's that?
There you go.
There you go.